Well, congrats to Clemson. They were terrific in all phases of the game. They shot the basketball well. They pressured us, forced us into 20 turnovers. They were terrific, and we were really bad. So, questions?
Jeff, it seemed like John was having a hard time even just setting up in the paint. What was Clemson doing to force him out so high and keep him from getting into his game?
Very physical. They pinched the floor. They didn't guard some guys, for us, and had a lot of help side, and they pressured the basketball.
Jeff, John's had 11 turnovers here in the past 2 games. Now, what do you think is kind of is at the root of those mistakes the most, and how much of it do you think comes from the attention that he's been drawing from opposing defense?
He's got to do a better job of valuing the basketball. Teams are extremely physical with him. He's got to adjust to that.
Jeff, you said you guys were really bad. I know progress isn't always forward. It's not always steps forward, but 19 games into the season, how do you react when you see a night like this, as you're really heading into the meat of the ACC schedule here?
Yeah, well, again, this was not a good performance. I don't put a lot into it. We'll move on to the next play. We'll get back, and we'll get ready for the next game.
Jeff, we've talked with you over the course of the season about how your guys have responded from close, oftentimes very tough losses. How much more of a challenge does a loss like this in this kind of lopsided fashion? Like how much of a challenge does that present to what's still, I guess, a relatively inexperienced team?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see Tuesday. I can't answer that question. I don't know. We'll see.
Jeff, when Jamarius fouled out, it was a tough situation for the team to grasp. But what have you been seeing from other guys to develop any presence or command of the offense? Because it seems like Jamarius is the guy that kind of keeps everything together when things aren't flowing in the natural way when you guys are playing your best ball.
Yeah, well, everyone on our team has to step up. It's not about John, Jamarius, or anyone particular. Everyone on our team has to step up and play better. We have to play better, period. Everyone's got to step up and do their job at a high level. We did not do that this evening. We'll get back to work.
Jeff, was the problems on offense a lack of aggressiveness on your part, or maybe just Clemson's defense being pretty intense?
Clemson's defense was very intense, and they forced us into 20 turnovers. That was the problem. We didn't do a great job of valuing the basketball, or even a good job.
Jeff, between last game and this game, what are some of the biggest problems or biggest struggles that you've been noticing with your team's zone defense?
Yeah, it's been bad. It hasn't been good. We haven't gotten the shooters. We haven't moved. We haven't kept it out of the high post. We have to get back to work and become better at it.
How discouraging is a game like this after you kind of started to build a little bit of momentum, a couple wins the last 4, close loss the other day? How much does a game like this kind of knock you back, if at all?
Doesn't knock us back. You just move on, move forward. Sometimes this happens during the season. You have a night like this, you have a game like this, just like we did when we beat Louisville. You move on to the next play. We'll flush it, we'll learn from it, and then we'll flush it, we'll move on. Doesn't affect us.
What as a coach can prevent the effects of a loss like this, or maybe the demoralizing aspects of it? What can prevent that from carrying over?
You move on to the next play. Just like if you have a great win, you move on to the next play. You move on to the next thing. Our thing, we don't have to wait a week. We don't have to stew in it. We play Tuesday. So our whole focus right now will be on Tuesday. That's it. How do we get prepared for Syracuse? How do we get prepared for that style? How do we get prepared for the zone? How can we defend them better than we defended when we played at Syracuse 10 days ago?
All right, any more questions?
Coach, thank you.
Your team racked up, I think it was 20 fouls by the end of the game. Did you feel like some of those maybe were frustration fouls, or was it Clemson just being really physical, or what do you kind of chalk that up to?
I don't comment on how a ref called the game. That's not my place. Again, Clemson was terrific in every phase of the game today. They were terrific offensively, they were terrific defensively, and we were not. So I chalk everything up to that.
All right, thank you guys.
So I guess no players.
I can't imagine. So.
I don't know. I think they would have ended the meeting. Although
Oh no. Okay, yeah, it's still there. I thought like Pitt basketball disappeared, but then that would have closed.
Oh no.
Miss you here, Craig. By the way, press row's lonely.
Why the fuck do they put people that high up? Like,
No, this is my first time here. I'm staring at the roof. Like,
yeah. Like
nuts.
you should be bribing people to cover. Like,
You guys think the media seating's bad. The post-game setup isn't any better here. So
we're all in the struggle
dealing with
together.
some issues. I think that's going to be it for today with just coach. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Matt.